And then when Matthew had a disability, it was very, very hard to tell people. And the reason wasn't because I was embarrassed. It was because I didn't want people to feel sorry for me or him. And so that was the motivation for not telling people. It wasn't that I was ashamed at all. He was a beautiful baby. People always complimented what a beautiful baby. He was a good baby, and really his infancy, despite the fact we had to do the early intervention, all that, he didn't have a heart condition. He didn't have a lot of medical problems. It was a really pleasant experience, despite the devastation of that he was not going to, be able to do this or that. And all of my friends who didn't really see me day to day, were around the country. In fact, I went to see some of the women miners that were my friends from before the time we were miners. We were socialists together. And I remember one, Jenny Hildebrand, we went to see her in Pittsburgh. She had sent, in fact, I have pictures laid out of the beautiful outfits that she sent to him when he was born. We went to see her. Matthew actually rode a plane before he was, a year old. And I remember her words, oh, okay, he's not going to be a doctor or a lawyer, probably not a teacher. But that's all that you know right now because of this condition. You don't know anything else, right? So really putting things into perspective. And I think part of that comes, and Will is the same way, because you are a social activist. You know what's really important in life and what really isn't important in life. So all of those parenting experiences and the support system, and being an older parent, because I was 33 when I had him, and then mother and daddy's not just acceptance, but their appreciation of Matthew. It wasn't a big deal to them that he was going to have this disability. And of course, Allison, my sister, younger sister, was already a special ed teacher, so she had an appreciation for it too. So I can't think of anybody that I know that had a better support system from family. And then from Mike's point of view, that's a hilarious story too. When we were in the hospital trying to deal with that, Mike not having a formal education, right? I'm trying to explain to him what Down syndrome is because he's not having any response at all. Of course, they were only going to test him for it. But I knew what it meant that somebody thought he had Down syndrome. And I'm explaining to Mike, and he's not responding at all. I'm thinking, you just don't get it. So he finally said, yes, I do. My nephew has Down syndrome. I said,
right, Cleveland.
Oh, okay. You really don't care, And if you look what Mike wrote in Matthew's baby book, I made him, after we had the diagnosis, write, which Mike's not a sentimental person, right? But I made him write a comment about Matthew. What I wrote is, we found out that you have a disability, blah, 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 blah. And Mike writes, I've always wanted a son, somebody to teach what my dad taught me, how to fish, how to garden. So, proud to be a dad. Had nothing to do, because that's the way he looks at things, right?
Right, which I think is beautiful.